So can we have you strip down faster than last time? See what we got. Let's see what we're working with. All right, he's pretty, this is Coach Greg here, and I got a substitution for Bradley Martin. I wanted to test, well, yeah, I wanted to test a guy who was 260 plus. Unfortunately, he didn't make the cut. So I got Eric, who's 275, so slightly larger than Bradley Martin. And so we're gonna see what is his body fat percentage. And before we use the calipers, we just wanna get an idea, just a guess. So can we have you strip down faster than last time? See what we got, see what we're working with. All right. He's pretty, this is clearly single digit body fat. Let's see a couple poses here. Looking for the abdominals, yeah. And from the back, because you really need to see front and the back. Let's see a back double bicep here. And so to me, this looks like close to 9% body fat. We're gonna see how close are the calipers to my laser eye vision. And so let's get started. Starting with the biceps, gonna measure halfway down, basically just seeing how much fat is under the skin. And there is not much, probably around 3. Sometimes somebody will pinch like this and say, wow, you're really fat, and I'm not kidding you. Somebody in my university did that to me. I was like, oh my God, you're gonna fail. You're failing.
You literally grab my whole muscle belt.
That's literally what they do. So you're trying to pinch the skin and you notice how, like, just grab that skin. It's just old man loose. My skin is old and loose. It's more tight to the muscle. Let's get the triceps. So basically I'm looking where the peak. He has massive horseshoe triceps here. And the hardest part about this is relaxing, because if I don't get a relaxation, I can't get a good pinch. So I'm gonna pinch as much as I can here, pull the skin away from the muscle so it doesn't force it outwards. And we're at 4, very, very lean. One arm up, let's do this on the head, going down in line with the armpit. I'm gonna pinch right above the, good. Usually men carry their body fat in their stomachs a lot more. He's only at 6, very low numbers. And the last, and usually the biggest, especially for men, we're pinching right under the scapula. So I'm trying to get my finger on, there we go, I found the bone. So I have to pinch just under there at about 45 degrees. And you can see it's a little bit thicker than the rest of his body, which is normal for men. And I'm gonna do it a couple times just to make sure I get a good number here. And 11. Can we add these numbers up? And we're gonna look on the chart. And everyone starts to panic when I add the numbers and I say 20 whatever, and they're like, oh my God, 20 whatever percent. But we have to actually look at what that represents. We got a total?
24.
So we got 24. Look up what 24 represents. 24 is 10% body fat. So according to this chart, he's at 10% body fat. And we had discussed this. The higher your muscle mass, the leaner you're actually going to be with the same amount of millimeters. This chart is based on the average person, but the average person isn't 6 foot and 275 pounds lean. And so as he's a bit bigger, it's gonna kind of overestimate the body fat percentage, because obviously the more muscle you have as a percentage, he has less fat. So it guessed 10, we're saying 9, I'm sticking with 9. So what do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. I mean, being 12 weeks out, it's pretty close to where I want to be. If I'm gonna want to be 5 on stage, 4.5, 5 on stage, maybe 4, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that gives me, what, about 10 to 12, like 12, 13 pounds of body fat to lose to get there?
Yeah, not much. And so when you think of this as your off season, how much more would you have been like fatter than this? Would you have been 12, 15? What's your heaviest off season bulk?
295 was when I was the heaviest.
And would you say you're still like
I was probably
12, 15?
12 to 13, probably 13.
And so just from your vantage point, just figure out, do you think that it's smart to bulk up to say 20% off season? Is this what you should do? Because everyone thinks you bulk in your cut, but in reality, this looks like the end of a cut for 99% of people. This is the end product. You're like, yeah, I'm at single digits.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not really necessary. They've kind of proven that to get, if really what you need is about a 500 calorie surplus in order to build muscle efficiently. When you go up to 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 calorie surplus a day, it's the law of diminishing returns, right? You're gonna put on maybe marginally 5%, 10% more muscle, but you're probably gonna put on 50, 100% more body fat than when you would have if you were just doing a 500 calorie surplus. So that's why I always tell people, when you're growing, just try to listen to that biofeedback. Try to get a pound every week, 2 weeks max. If you're going a pound every couple of days, you're going way too fast, and you're probably putting on more body fat or water or inflammation than you are muscle.
I always said slower is better, because if you gain a lot of fat too quickly, then you have to lose that off. So let's say he goes on a bulk 20%, say 320 in the off season. When he comes down to diet, he's gonna have to diet for 6 more weeks. And in that 6 weeks, you're probably gonna lose in muscle. So much better to kind of stay within reason, the striking distance of competition. I would say at a maximum 10% more than your contest stage weight. So if you're competing at 4 or 5, 14, 15, that would be the most. So any of you guys out there, if you're at 20% body fat, you have already bulked.
What about, do you think I'm ready? I'll be ready in 12 weeks?
It should be easy to get ready in 12 weeks from this point. So if I was coaching you, I would say at 8 weeks out, you could make it from here. So you have a little bit of leeway. Doesn't mean you should relax. No. It's better to be ahead of schedule, in my opinion, because no matter how lean you are, there's always going to be one guy that maybe is a bit leaner, and you can always lose that the last 2 weeks.
The guy I've noticed that usually is like the leanest on stage, let's say with the pros that I follow, are usually like the leanest 8, 9, 10 weeks out, like an Urs. Like, you know, that's Wesley. You see them be like almost peeled at like 10 weeks out, because people don't realize how hard that last 3 or 4%. It's so much harder than going from 6 or from like 8 to 4 than it is from 15 to 11. That 4% is so much different.
Yeah.
Physiologically, your body doesn't want to let it go.
To go from, I like 4%, to me, that's truly like, that's that shredded look. To go from 5 to 4, you're really losing like 20% of your body fat, because you only have 5 to start with. So to go from 5 to 4, that's a lot. But to go from 20 to 19, that's a week. Yeah. Could be a weekend even if you try hard enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so supplement-wise, on the natty spectrum, what would I suggest? If you're trying to lose body fat, to my opinion, better than fat burners is GO2 Max. GO2 Max is going to improve your cardio. You're going to have more ability to do like 60 minutes of cardio. And not only that, after the gym, you might be tired from working out. When you take GO2 Max, you actually go home and you have more energy. So you might go and rake the leaves, mow the lawn, walk the dogs a bit more. Just basically have more bounce in your step, which burns more calories. That's neat, that non-exercise activity thermogenesis. GO2 Max, for me, the #1 supplement you can take if your goal is just to burn body fat. Be sure to subscribe to Eric Janicki's channel on Instagram and YouTube. You can click the links to get into there. And if you're interested in any of the supplements, get over to my website. Head over there as soon as possible. If you have no money, you can get the free diet and training program. Also become one of the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, we are out.